Hello everyone and welcome, my name is Thundernumel and I welcome you to the channel. Most of you really enjoyed the video that I posted a couple of days ago about the $12 or €10 deck list, so I figured I could give you another one, and this one should be more up the alley of the combo players. Before we get into the deck profile, I have a small favor to ask. If you enjoyed these type of video, please consider subscribing to the channel, because it's just one click for you and it means really much to me. Without any further ado, let's get into the deck profile of the €10 Majespecter deck. Okay guys, we are here with the deck profile and this one should be much easier to understand than the last one. First of all, let's talk about the Majespecters. They are all untargetable and indestructible by your opponent's card effects, and they have an effect on summon which mostly searches. Nekomata is a low scale that searches in the end phase. Yada is a high scale that searches a Majespecter spell card on summon. Kyubi is a low scale that searches a Majespecter trap on summon. Bumbuku searches a Majespecter monster on summon and is a high scale. And Obama is a searcher for your spells and traps, however he sets them instead of adding them to your hand. The other engine I want to talk about is the Windwitch engine. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Windwitches, they lock you into wind monsters that you can summon from the extra deck, level 5 or higher, so you cannot pendulum summon your Majespecters from the extra deck the turn you activate a Windwitch. However, activate an Ice Bell. However, it doesn't really matter because you will have an indestructible Crystal Wing and an interruption by the end of the turn in which Windwitch Ice Bell resolved. So if you have no monsters on the field, you can special summon Ice Bell, which special summons a Glass Bell. Then you activate the effect of Glass Bell to search another Windwitch and use the effect of Ice Bell to inflict 500 damage to your opponent in the same chain, so they cannot dash your Glass Bell. Then you would add a Snowbell to your hand and then special summon the Snowbell by its own effect, and then you would Synchro summon into Wind Pegasus at Ignister and then go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So because of the effect of Snowbell, Synchro monster summoned by using this card as a tuner is indestructible by card effects, and Crystal Wing is really hard to destroy by battle, so it's a pretty cool monster. It even outs Dragoon, if you can believe it, because Dragoon cannot pop it and it cannot beat it in battle because it gains the attack of Dragoon. So yeah, it's a pretty insane boss monster. If you happen to draw into just a Glass Bell, then you can use the Glass Bell to search a Freeze Bell and then go into a 7, which isn't as good, but the 7 can't be destroyed by battle, so that's something. As for our other engines, we have a Luster Pendulum, which is a high scale, and it can destroy your low scale. Well, it can destroy anything, but what we use it for is destroying our low scale, so we can get the monster and a scale at the same time. So what you would do is set a Kyubi in one scale, set a Luster in the other, destroy the Kyubi, then you can add another Kyubi, activate the other Kyubi, and then you can pendulum summon the Kyubi that you destroyed before. As for our third engine, we have a small Performapal engine, which is basically one Joker, 3 Pensork, and 1 Guitartle and 1 Lizard Draw. So what you would do is you would either normal summon Skullcrobet to add a Pensork, or just have a Pensork, then pendulum summon the Pensork, destroying both of your scales, adding a Guitartle and Lizard Draw. Then you can activate Guitartle, activate Lizard Draw 1 card, and use the effect of Lizard Draw, destroying itself to draw another, which is basically a Pot of Greed. As for the spells and traps of the deck, we have Majespecter Cyclone, which is searchable by Obama, and the Yada, which requires you to tribute a Wind Spellcaster to target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And most of our cards are Wind Spellcasters, apart from the Performapals and the Lusters. Everything is a Wind Spellcaster. So this is a targeting destruction. We have Majespecter Tempest, which is a counter trap, and please note that none of these cards are once per turn. So when a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated, you can tribute a Wind Spellcaster, negate the summon or the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Also, we have a Majespecter Tornado, which is a targeting banish, same as Cyclone, but it's on a trap card. We have Majesty's Pegasus, which gives you a small attack boost for all of your Majespecters, and also it requires you to tribute a wind spellcaster, which is any of our wind witches, any of our Majespecters, to special summon any of the Majespecters from your deck. We have 1 terraforming to search it, and triple Ties of the Brethren, because most of our monsters are level 4 wind spellcasters. However, we also have a small level 3 engine for the wind spellcasters in case we need them. As for our extra deck, we just have the cheapest options that we can find. So Dinoster, the power the Mighty Reiko Slayer, and Ignister Prominence. Ignister really comes up, Dinoster very rarely comes up, however it is a nice option to have sometimes. We have a Clearwing Fast Dragon in case we are going second with the Wind Witches, which is not the most terrible card. Also it's a level 7 that has a negation effect, so you can go into it with Glass Bell and Freeze Bell. If you're going first and using a Freeze Bell, it's indestructible by battle, so it's something. Crystal Wing, which is our most expensive card here, it's about 3 euros, maybe 4, but you know, we are only playing once, so it's not too much of a budget breaker. Most of these cards are just 2 cents each. Okay, Wind Pegasus set Ignister, we just use it to Synchro Climb into the Crystal Wing, and when it's in the graveyard you can just banish it when your card is destroyed to shuffle 1 card your opponent controls into the deck, which is pretty nice. We have Windwitch Diamond Bell, which you can make with Glass Bell and Freeze Bell, because Freeze Bell can increase its level by 1, and it's pretty neat. If you make it that way, twice per turn you can destroy your opponent's cards if your opponent takes damage, battle or effect, and it can do effect damage by itself, so I don't know, it's kinda good and it's not that expensive to have. Windwitch Winterbell, also for the same reason as the previous monster. Then we have 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Dark Rebellion, 1 Light Dragon at Ignister. It's basically a target and destroy 1 monster. You can have a Wind Pegasus at Ignister as well to destroy 2, but you know what, it doesn't come up that often, let's just say so. Lightning Chidori is pretty neat because we are mostly running only wind monsters. We have 1 rank 3 in number 75 Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. We have a Tornado Dragon and 1 Wind the Wind Charmer Verdant, which is a wind spellcaster that you can make with your non-wind spellcasters and one of your wind spellcasters or your barrier statue. As for the side deck, I divided it into going first and going second cards. So if you are going first against the deck that uses a lot of spell cards, like Sky Strikers for instance, you can just use these 5 cards and probably win instantly. Because we have Secret Village, we have Set Rotation and a Metaverse. If you are going up against a deck that doesn't have many wind monsters, then you can just side in the barrier statues and pendulum summon them. If you don't draw them, well, what can you do? I mean, it's a side deck card. For going second, we have triple Dogoran and 1 Dino Wrestler Pancratops and triple Archfiend Eccentric. Without further ado, let's get into the games and show what this deck is capable of. Well guys, this is it for this episode of 10 Euro Yu-Gi-Oh! If you enjoyed the content, please consider liking and subscribing, because I really need it. If you have any other ideas on the decks you want me to cover in this series, please do let me know. As for improvements you could make to the deck, you could consider running a Great Fly for just more damage on the board. Or you could just put in generic links or better Xyz monsters such as Baguska or Exotonite. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!